Hello BookTube, I'm here today to do the Avengers book tag. Now, I was not officially tagged to do this, but it looked like a lot of fun, so I thought I'd join in on the party. I'll leave a link down in the description bar to the original video down below, so go ahead and check that out. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Number 1 is Iron Man / Tony Stark, a book that made you laugh out loud. Now for this, I had to go with Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. I read this book about a year ago and it really took me out of a reading slump. It was so funny and it was just a really enjoyable read. It was just laugh out loud hilarious. Even though it is a YA book with a girl in a bikini on the cover, which is something I swore I would never read, I did find it incredibly enjoyable. It's about these young teenage beauty queens who get stuck on a deserted island after their plane crashes and they have to learn how to survive on their own. And it's just hilarious. And it takes down all aspects of the hierarchy, and it's just wonderful. Number 2, Captain America / Steve Rogers, a book that sends a positive message. For this, I had to go with What Happened by Hillary Rodham Clinton. Now, this is a nonfiction book about her experience running a presidential campaign in the 2016 election, and why she believes that she lost to Donald Trump, and what she thinks that we can do about it to prevent something like that ever happening again in the future. I was expecting to read this book and for it to reopen all these old wounds and to make me incredibly angry all over again about the election, because a lot of modern American politics, a lot of modern politics in general, just makes you really angry when you think about how the far right wave that's been coming. But it really brought me a lot of hope, and I really found it tied off a lot of loose ends for me, and it brought me a lot of peace and comfort. And it really made me think that, yes, this happened once, but we're never going to let it happen again, and there's still a promising future for us, because these people are dying off, honestly, and overall love trumps hate. Number 3, Black Widow / Natasha Romanoff, a book with a kick-butt female protagonist. Now for this, I had to go with Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. This book takes place in the American South during the Civil War, and it features the protagonist as Scarlett O'Hara, who is a spoiled Southern belle on the outside, but inwardly is filled with grit and determination. She is a very flawed person. She is an avid proponent of slavery, and she treats people terribly, but she is viciously protective of the people that she loves, and she will go to any lengths to protect them. Now, she is a savvy businesswoman, she is a flamboyant flirt, and she knows what she wants and she isn't afraid to go after it. But, so Scarlett O'Hara is just a wonderful character, because she's not a stereotypical strong female character in the way that she's one-dimensional, but she's a fully fleshed out person. And so even though she's a terrible person, you can't help but root for her, because you love the way that she fights for herself and the way that she fights for the people that she loves. Number 4, Hawkeye / Clint Barton, an underrated book that you wish more people would pay attention to. Now for that, I had to go with Through the Sad Wood Our Corpses Will Hang by Ava Farmery. Now this book takes place during the Green Revolution in Iran, and it's about a woman who is accused of killing her mother, and it's written in a first-person perspective. I received this book as an ARC from NetGallery in exchange for an honest review, and honestly, it was one of my favorite books that I read last year. I gave it 5 stars, and I absolutely loved it. The main character is an unreliable narrator, and throughout the entire book we're left wondering if she really did kill her mother or not, and even if she was in her sane mind when she possibly did. This is one of my favorite quotes from the book. "The truth will set you free, they say, but believe me, nothing will set you free." End quote. Now, I thought that this was incredibly astute, especially for someone suffering with mental illness. Number 5, Hulk / Bruce Banner, a book that made you incredibly angry. Now for this, I had to go with The Maze Runner by James Dashner. Now this book was really popular a couple of years ago, and it's a YA bestseller, and I thought, I have to pick it up, it sounds interesting, and it's about these teenage boys and one girl who are in this maze and have to figure out how to escape. Now, it's a dystopian book, and ultimately, though, it makes no sense. It's incredibly stupid and sexist and borderline racist, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. It's one of my most hated books of all time, and that's including a book that I started to read by Rush Limbaugh. Don't ask me why I started to read that book. It's horrible. Just an explanation of one thing that I hated about it was that the male characters are named after prominent male scientists in history, but the female characters are named after prominent female activists. Now, I don't think that being an activist is any less important than being a scientist, but just the fact that that the protagonist could, or that the author couldn't even name prominent female scientists, despite the fact that there have been hundreds of thousands of them throughout history, is incredibly infuriating. Yeah, it's just so stupid, and I can make an entire video about why I hated this book, but I'm going to save you the time and just say don't read it. If anyone wants to watch that video, let me know down in the description box, and I will film it, because I hated this book so much. Now, I did type out a really long and lengthy Goodreads review about all the reasons why I hated this book, but Goodreads, there was a glitch and they didn't publish it, so it made me, so I lost all of the writing that I did for my like hate review, and it made me so angry, so I didn't type it out again. So if you follow me on Goodreads, you'll know that that I didn't publish a review for that. But yeah, it's just horrible. Save yourself the trouble and don't bother picking this book up, because it is horrific. Way worse than Twilight, by the way. And Twilight is bad, but like this book is so much worse. But it gets so much popular praise and everything. It drives me insane. Number 6, Thor, a book with a character whose strength I admire. Now for that, I went with Wild Swan, Three Daughters of China by Yung Chang. This is a book that I actually did a read-along of and about a year ago, or was it maybe 2 years ago? I'll leave a link down into the videos, down to the description bar to those videos in case you're interested. Now, I really enjoyed reading this book. It's one of my favorite books of all time, and it features it's the real life story of 3 generations of Chinese women. The grandmother, who was a concubine to a warlord in pre-communist China, and her daughter, who was a member of the communist regime and was an incredibly strong woman, and the granddaughter, who is the author of the series of the book. Now, these women are so strong and have such resilience. The writing is incredibly astute and beautiful, and the entire all the stories are just wonderful to read about, because it's something that as you read each story, you can't help but think, how on earth did this even happen? And it's something that has to be told because it's just so incredibly amazing. Just they escape by the skin of their teeth at times, and it's just watching this family survive, you know, World War II and survive the communist rebellion and everything is just incredible. I would highly recommend this book. So I gave it 5 out of 5 stars when I finally finished it. It was wonderful. Number 7, bonus, Loki, a book with a twist or surprise that tricked me. And for that, I had to go with the Harry Potter book, because I don't generally read books with twists or anything like that, or suspenseful books anymore. So I had to go all the way back to my childhood and to Harry Potter. And for that, I picked Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, because boy oh boy did I not expect Peter Pettigrew to secretly be the rat, and for Peter Pettigrew to have been alive the whole time and to have been affiliated with Voldemort. That totally shocked me. J.K. Rowling totally got me and pulled the wool over my eyes, because I was not expecting that at all. I was really impressed. I'm going to tag a bunch of people now. I'm going to be tagging Erica from The Perks of Books, and Monse from Monse's Manifesto, Amy from the Dusty Bookshelf, Michael from Knowledge Lost, and the Restricted Section with Megan Sue. And Celia from Celia, her channel's just called Celia, and Miriam from Between Lines in Life. I'll leave all their channel links down in the description bar, so you can definitely go check them out, because they're wonderful people. And I hope you had a great day, and I will see you all next time. Let me know down in the comments who your favorite Avenger is, and if you've read any of these books or not, or if any of them sound interesting to you. Have a lovely day, folks. Bye!